Hi, hello, and welcome to another session on data communications and networks. In today's session, we'll see one of the characteristics of the link layer, which is the framing. In physical layer, the data transmission means moving the bits on the frame in the form of a signal. We move these bits from the source to the destination. But the data link layer doesn't send the data message as it is from the source to the destination. It will pack the entire message it will make it into a form of a frame. Then it will transmit the message from the source to destination. So this frame consists of the message. Along with the message, it also includes a header. Then it gives the source address, then the destination address, and finally a trailer is also added. So this entire sequence of message is transmitted from the source to the destination. So this is known as a frame. So, but even the entire message is not made into a single frame. It is made into several frames. We'll see one example here. We'll take the example of a postal system. So the type of framing that takes place in the postal system we'll see now. So whenever you want to write a letter to your friend, we write the letter. Suppose this is the letter. This is inserted inside in an envelope. Now by inserting the letter in this envelope, what we are doing here, we are separating our letter with somebody else's letter, because in the post box there will be many number of letters. So this envelope is just to separate one letter from the other letter. So on the envelope we also have the sender's address. Along with this, we also need to put the receiver's address also. So then only it is dropped into the post box. So this is the type of framing in the postal system. Now we'll see if a single frame is used for the entire message. If you are packing the message in a single frame, what happens? If you are using a single frame, we have the same procedure. In the entire frame, we have the header. After the header, the message or the datagram. Then we have the source address. Then the destination address. Then comes the trailer. So this is one complete frame. So if the entire message is packed into a single frame, suppose there is an 1-bit error. If there is an error in 1 bit, so even if there is a single bit error, the receiver, it has to ask the sender to retransmit the entire message again. So that is a disadvantage of using a single frame for one complete message. So if we are using several frames, if the entire message is packed into several frames, suppose there is a single bit error. So this single bit error can be in one frame. So if there is a single bit error in one frame, then the receiver will ask the transmitter or the sender to retransmit only this particular frame wherever there is an error. All the other frames need not be transmitted. So this is the advantage of using a single bit, several frames instead of using a single frame for the entire message. We'll see the types of framing. We have two types of framing. One is the fixed size framing. The second is the variable size framing. So by the name only we can understand that in fixed size framing, the size of the frame is fixed or constant. And in variable size framing, the size of the frame can be made variable. So we'll see the first one, that is the fixed size framing. So in fixed size framing, first feature is the size of the frame is fixed. And also here in this case, we need not define the boundaries. So defining the boundaries is not required. So these are the features of fixed size framing. The size of the frame is fixed and the boundaries need not be defined. So one example of fixed size framing is the ATM wide area network. So this is one example of a fixed size framing where the size of the frame is constant or a fixed. We will see the second type of framing, which is the variable size framing. So in variable size framing, the frame size is not constant. Here we need to define the end of the first frame. So along with this, the starting of the next frame also has to be defined. So in variable size framing, the end of the first frame, suppose we are having many number of frames. Suppose this is the first frame, this is the second frame. So wherever the first frame is ending, that has to be defined. So this is the end of the first frame. Along with this, the starting point of the next frame also has to be defined. So here also each frame consists of the same terms. It consists of one header. After the header, we have the message or the datagram. Then we have the sender's address. Then the destination or the receiver's address. Then the trailer bits also has to be incorporated. So this is one complete frame. So in variable size framing, wherever the one frame is ending, that has to be defined, and the starting of the next frame also has to be defined. So these are the two types of framing, fixed framing and variable size framing. So under variable size framing, we have two types. types of variable size framing. So the first one is the character oriented framing. And the second one is the bit oriented framing. So in character oriented framing, the frames are separated from each other by using an 8-bit flag. So there's an 8-bit flag, or we also call it as 1 byte. So 8 bits of data are used as a flag. So this separates one frame from the other frame. So that is in character oriented framing. Now coming to the bit oriented framing, one separate bit, that is either a 1 or a 0, is used to separate one frame from the other frame. So in character oriented framing, 1 byte is used to separate one frame from the other, and in bit oriented framing, a single bit is used to separate one frame from the other. So these are the two types of variable size framing. So we'll see both of these two in the next session, that is the character oriented framing and the bit oriented framing, with an example. That's all in this session. Thank you.